Wake up. I said, wake up. Yeah, that's it. Open those big eyes, you stupid beast. No, don't try to move. Those heavy iron shackles around your legs aren't going to budge an inch, even for limbs as strong as yours. I'm sure you would love nothing more than to use your foreclaws to rip me apart. I can already see your right foreleg itching to be free from its restraints. Your days of doing that are done. You won't be terrorizing the people of our village anymore, ever. Here, let me kneel down so I can look into that hideous face properly. Your hungry jaws are probably already drooling under that muzzle I snapped on them, aren't they? Oh. Try to ignore your beastly appetite for a moment and focus on this cloth dangling from my hand. Does it look familiar? No. Don't look away, unless you'd like to feel the sting of a crop on one of those soft, sensitive paws. I'm an experienced werewolf hunter. I know all manner of methods to force beasts like you to be compliant, and most of them are quite unpleasant. So, returning to my question, I don't expect you to answer with words, of course, but I know from experience that you werewolves can understand our language. What I'm looking for is a glint of recognition in your eyes. Have you seen this rag before? Here, I'll hold it to your muzzle. Take a good whiff. It was a shirt once. I know it's difficult to tell now that it's practically been torn to ribbons, but it was a shirt. Perhaps you've seen it before during one of your pack's savage attacks on our home. It belonged to a friend of mine. I know the concept of friends might be a foreign one for monsters like yourself. The only relationship you understand is the one between predator and prey, so I'll explain. A friend is a companion you enjoy the company of, someone you care for. And I cared for this particular friend quite a lot. We were close. So you can imagine how I felt when I heard you creatures attacked in the eastern quarter so near her home. Or perhaps you could imagine if you were capable of feeling any emotion but mindless hunger. We beat you back in the end, of course. Human intellect always prevails over brainless brute strength. But not before you took your usual share of innocent flesh and blood. I can still hear the screams, see the upturned carts lying in the streets, smell that acrid scent of sweat in the air. Most vividly of all, I recall running into my friend's home and finding this torn up, blood-stained rag to be all that remained of her. I can see it in your eyes. Something about this is familiar to you. You were there when she was taken, weren't you? I suspected as much. Witnesses told me the attacking pack had black fur shot through with streaks of silver, just like yours. And I saw how your eyes widened when you first looked at me. You recognized me from that night, don't you? That's the only reason I haven't put a silver bullet directly between your eyes yet. I knew one of you would have the information I've been looking for eventually. Don't think I don't see you trying so determinedly to stretch your right foreleg again. It's not getting free no matter how you squirm, so don't waste your energy. Shut up. I can't understand those barks, especially not through your muzzle, and I've no desire to hear your indignant yapping. Look into my eyes. Do I look afraid of you? I've felled dozens of wolves bigger than you. You don't scare me one bit. All I feel towards you is contempt. So let me tell you what's going to happen now, beast. I'll speak slowly so you may understand. I am going to sedate you, and while you slumber, I'm going to place a metal leash on your neck and chain your limbs. And then I'm going to hold your leash and point my rifle at your back, and you're going to take me to my friend, or what's left of her. If you refuse, or if you truly don't know where she is, then I will slay you and move on to my next captive. If you can bring me to my friend, your reward will be a swift and mostly painless death. Those are the most generous terms I will ever offer to the monsters who despoiled my home and stole my friend from me. I said stop those awful growls. I can't stand to hear them. Wait. What is that? On your cheek, is that? No, that's impossible. That can't be a teardrop. Wolves can't cry, they're base, stubborn animals. They always stay defiant until the end, never showing fear or sadness. I know very well how you beasts work, but I see another streaking down your cheek. How is that possible? I haven't inflicted any physical pain on you yet. That isn't just some visceral reaction. You're responding to my words as though, what? They hurt you? They hurt your feelings? You creatures don't have feelings. You're not human, and yet... Stop crying. Stop. Stop it, I said. If this is some new trick you dogs have learned to try to draw sympathy from us, you'll be disappointed to learn that after your actions, we have none left to offer you. I said stop barking. I can't understand you anyway. This makes no difference. None. Those tears streaming down your cheeks will not move me. I've seen your kind rip through innocent men and women without a moment's hesitation. You know no such thing as sorrow, as regret. Forgiveness and understanding are wasted on you. If you really stop trying to break that foreleg free unless you want me to break it. I told you, you stupid, dumb animal, you won't be able to. What is that? That thing glinting on your paw. I didn't even notice. It was so well hidden beneath that thick, matted black fur. And there's something there. Like yellow or golden. What is that? Hold still. Let me take a closer look. It's... Oh my god. That ring. It's much too small for a werewolf's fingers. Not that your kind even wears jewelry. Look at how tight that fit is. You probably can't even get it off. You were wearing that before you were transformed, weren't you? When you were still human. And that's the inscription. Just as I had it etched. But it's impossible. Do you know who that ring belongs to? Do you? I need to ask you another question. Here, let me remove this muzzle. I'm going to ask you for a number, and I want you to bark that many times. Do you understand? Good. Please, stop crying. Just answer me, please. It was her birthday. The day I gifted her that ring, I mean. It was meant as a token of our friendship. I'd saved the coin for it from nearly 3 weeks of pay doing odd jobs for Miss Arlen. That was years ago, before she passed. It's not true gold, but it was all I could afford. And she didn't mind. She always loved my gifts, not for their opulence, but for the love with which I chose them. That day, we had a picnic on the sandy banks of the stream west of here. Just her and I. I can still remember how the honey wine I'd snuck from my mother's liquor shelf tasted. It was the first time I'd ever drank. Her first time as well, I think, she said. We skipped stones on the lake. How many skips did her stone take before it sank? Yes. Oh, yes, it is you. Oh my god. Remember how I teased you about making so few skips afterwards? And you just told me I had the stronger arms, but you had the stronger legs. Then we raced, and I beat you again. And we just sat down, both exhausted on an amber sandbar in the shade of a tall willow, laughing with one another. Oh my god. I can't believe you're alive. I was so frightened to think of what happened to you after they came. I spent so many nights sharpening my knife, honing my aim with my crossbow and my rifle, trying to commit maps of every inch of the forest to memory. I was willing to search wherever it took, if there was even the slightest hope of bringing you home. But how did this happen? One of them must have bitten you. Oh, my. I can't imagine what it must have felt like, becoming one of them. And then to wake, to see me here threatening you, ready to hurt you so cruelly, and to be unable to speak to me and explain everything. No wonder you shed tears. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. If I had only known. Let me slip these shackles off now. I know, as sure as I know my own name, that you would never hurt me. I'll take your muzzle off too. There we go. Isn't that better? I can tell how relieved you are by that rumble. I've never heard a werewolf growl like that before. It's not an unpleasant sound. Here, I know it's a bit sentimental and also more than a little awkward given how much larger you are than me now, but I promised myself the first thing I'd do when I found you was give you a big hug. That was nice. Even with all that fur and those massive shoulders of yours that I can't quite get my arms around. You're enormous like this. Can you imagine I used to be taller than you? Oh, but it's so good to see you again, my friend. Only, we can't just leave you here like this. Somebody else could come soon and they won't understand. They'll see what you've become and think you're a monster. We need to get you somewhere safe. You'll come home with me for now. There has to be a way to reverse the curse. I know they say it's permanent, that a werewolf can never be turned back, but there has to be a way. I'll find one. I'll bring you back, I promise. No matter how long it takes. Until then, you can stay with me. I can hide you in my basement, and I'll bring you whatever leftovers I can for food. I'll bring you other things too. Perhaps some hay from the stables to sleep on, a basin to bathe in. I don't know. It won't be so bad. I'll do whatever I can to make things better. I promise. Does that sound alright with you? Nod or shake your head to respond if you like. Good. Good. Follow me then. Quickly. And welcome home. I've missed you.